Good afternoon, my good friends. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my channel. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andre Lefevre, and I'm a citizen journalist. My website is wildnews.us, and I like to mouth off on things political, things cultural, things interesting. I don't get paid for this. I'm an amateur, again, a citizen journalist. This afternoon, I want to talk about the piss poor state of American manhood. About a year ago, I made a series of videos on my YouTube channel taking apart a internet group called MGTOW. This is a woman-hating group consisting primarily of the younger liberal men who still live in their mama's garage and really bitch because women don't want to have casual sex with them. But there's a lot more to it. I have come across men who consider themselves libertarians and conservatives who also really don't understand the true nature of the peril our society is in. So you understand, I believe in Judeo-Christian values. I believe that the only way to happiness for both man and a woman is to be bound in holy matrimony. House, white picket fence, children, man is a breadwinner, woman is a homemaker. Any other model that has ever been tried leads to misery and unhappiness. The only way men and women can be happy together is in that model. Again, man is a breadwinner who supports the family. A wife is a homemaker that takes care of the kids and her husband. It's not a competition between genders, gentlemen. It's, we all made for different purposes. Men are made to lead, to support and protect, and women are made to nurture, to instruct, and to make sure that the children grow up to be productive members of human race. Now, for some reason, that very simple model, when I talk about it, absolutely sends men into a tizzy. I have some thoughts about it. Most recently, I had a long online discussion with somebody named Robert on Gab, who actually said that there is an alliance between women and the oppressive government to deprive men from being happy and being free. Now, in that feverish mind of his, women are, as a bloc or as a country or as a political party or as some unified entity, can actually make an alliance with a government. And the express purpose is to deprive men from their birthright, to make men into victims. Let me say a couple of things about that. Stephen Molyneux calls that victim Olympics. The liberal culture, the popular culture, gives the most credit to those who are the most victimized. And there's a great number of men who decided they want to enter the competition. Especially white men decided they want to enter the competition. They finally figured out the area where they can compete. They decided they want to be victims of women. And somehow it is okay with them. Let me deconstruct this. Our government is run by wealthy men, children of wealthy parent trust fund kids. If you look at the bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. and the local bureaucracy and elected officials, with very, very few exceptions, you will find children of wealthy parents who went to Ivy League universities and who belong to that nefarious ruling class. A fairly small number, percentage-wise, of men who run everything. All the liberal, progressive laws that have been passed by men. They are being enforced by men, just not enough women in there. Women don't go into law enforcement en masse, and women don't go into politics en masse. So blaming women for passing laws that will make sense and enforcing laws that make sense insults my intelligence. Those are men. In my 58 years on this earth, I learned very simple. Our ladies are designed in a wonderful way. They always follow the most powerful. If it's you, if you're a provider, protector, and you love and cherish your wife will be loyal to you, and she'll follow you, and she will obey you. If you send her out to work to pay half the bills, play computer games rather than pay attention to her, and put the burden of creating the financial strategy and paying bills on her, yeah, she will crap all over you. And she'll probably divorce you. She'll probably stay in the house that she used to pay half for it and make you pay the other half and keep the children in it. And you can cry and complain that this is unfair, but it's your own doing because you didn't get off your ass and didn't support her and your children. When men force their women to go out to work to pay bills, their bosses become more important to them than you. And this is just a very unpleasant truth. If you want to have a loyal woman in your house, your wife, it's a very, very expensive luxury. It is not a right, and it is not easy. Supporting your family, protecting your family, making sure that your children grow up well-adjusted and happy is hard work. We cannot rely on our government institutions for that like most men do. The public schools have turned into leftist indoctrination camps, and they're very unsafe because all of them are gun-free zones, which means that students and faculty cannot protect themselves against deranged people or false flag attacks, which means every time we send out our children to public schools, it's the most dangerous place we can send them. So if you fail to create the environment by affording to buy a nice house for your wife, having enough money to support her in a normal middle-class style, to be able to afford a private school or to structure your and your woman's life to homeschool your kids, don't blame women for our society going south. Now, there's another aspect to this, especially liberal men for somehow convinced that casual sex is a thing to do. I'm not quite sure where that idea that sex act is cheap came about. Women charge hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars to have sex. I'm talking about call girls and prostitutes. And there are men who pay it. Sex act is a precious and a very expensive commodity. There's an empirical evidence. You don't see men lining up the curbs in big cities and women paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for sexual pleasure. No, that is exclusively reserved for women, and men pay for it. So, when men talk about casual sex, they expect a woman to give up something that's very, very expensive. To add insult to injury, every time we have sex with women, this is how babies are made. To expect that sex act is not going to produce a child is unreasonable. That's how we reproduce. This is the mechanism which we human beings reproduce. So when a man has a casual sex with a woman and then does not want to take care of the child, it forces men like me and the rest of us to pay for his pleasure. So don't blame women for the fact there's so many single women that rely on welfare. It's not enough money to live a good life if you're on welfare, and to be despised and used and abused by liberal men who have no more respect for women than use condoms, that use women like condoms and then throw them away. What I'm saying is the poor state of relationship in our society between genders is solely the responsibility of us middle-class men. Because for many generations now, we refuse to take responsibility for our women. And I won't blame them for despising us for it as a group. Talking about alliance between women and the government, how about we talking about alliance between a husband and wife? How about if you offer a woman love, protection, and support that she's entitled to, and acknowledge what she brings to the family is precious and very, very expensive. The only model that works, again, is a traditional family based upon Judeo-Christian values. And you don't have to be a religious person. You can be an atheist, but still believe in 10 Commandments and understand that the moral values in the New Testament lead to a happy life. I'll probably get some hate comments on this. I will welcome them. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it a lot more than I can say. Visit my website to wildnews.us. And God bless you, my friends. God bless you.